There's been only one thing that he is consistent about. That however he stretches the science, however he stretches the research, however he obscures the literature, he's going to find a way to blame this death on Michael Jackson. He's going to find a theory or way to blame it on Michael Jackson. That is, until it's debunked by Dr. Steve Schaefer, at which point he'll pick a new theory to blame it on Michael Jackson. So in his March 8th, 2011 report, he speculates, he said it was just a speculative thought that he was sharing, that Michael Jackson either drank the propofol or self-injected it. Quickly, he, in April, receives Dr. Steve Schaefer's report. Based on fundamental principles of first-pass effect and what the liver does to propofol when it's orally ingested, Dr. Schaefer concluded that was impossible. Impossible. That's in his report of April 18th. It's impossible. Based on things that first-year medical students know. What your liver does to the oral ingestion of an agent such as propofol, it's impossible that Michael Jackson died as a result of oral ingestion of propofol. So when Dr. White learns of Dr. Schaefer's report, evidently starts backtracking. But how does he do it? Well, according to the direct examination by Mr. Flanagan, he states he wanted to do his own research. And he suggested that we commission a study in animals. And we did this study. We didn't publish it because I didn't think it was necessarily appropriate for publication. It was negative. The drug that was given directly into the stomach was absorbed and metabolized, and there was no effect. Well, in cross-examination, we learn that this wasn't what you would expect from his testimony as some sort of commissioned official study subject to peer review with data to look at. No, he says, Mr. Flanagan stated that he knew a vet in Indiana who could conduct the study. I did not directly participate. Well, did you review any data or were you provided any reports in regard to that study? No formal report. Only an oral report that had no effect, which confirmed what my suspicion was, and it confirmed what Dr. Schaefer had proposed. And who provided you with this oral report? Mr. Flanagan, this is the level of academic research and rigor that Dr. White sullied this trial with. He essentially has Mr. Flanagan call a guy he knows in Indiana, does some study, and then concludes it's not orally bioavailable, which everyone knew. But that's what, during direct examination, you would have believed that he had commissioned a study, he got results, and they chose not to publish it because the results were fairly predictable. He had nothing to do with this study. According to him, it was Mr. Flanagan. It's important and it's relevant as to the level of trust or credence you should give to any of Dr. White's opinions in this case at this point. What else did we learn from Dr. White? We certainly learned that he wouldn't administer propofol in a home.
If Michael Jackson had come to you, Dr. White, and indicated that he would like to hire you to administer propofol to him, to put him to sleep each night in his bedroom, would you do it?
Absolutely not. That would be a job that I would never consider.
Dr. White told us about the need to call 911.
As I said earlier, I think he should have called 911 sooner.
Dr. White told us about the administration of propofol in a bedroom.
Well, I would not administer propofol in a bedroom, as I stated earlier.
Dr. White, after some back and forth questioning, admitted that a pulse oximeter without an alarm, when you're not present, is utterly useless.
asking about a pulse oximeter without an alarm. If you are not there to see it, to see the little tiny screen, and you're not there to hear it, it doesn't even have an alarm, what value does it serve?
Well, only
In your absence, what value does it serve in your absence?
in your absence, it probably has little, if any, value.
None, correct?
Well, yeah, that's true.
Okay, it has no value, correct? If you're not in the room. Correct?
Correct, yeah.
It has no value. No value. We learned Dr. White's opinion regarding abandonment of a patient, particularly one who's evidently someone who likes to push propofol.
Would you walk out of the room and leave them alone with no personnel and no monitoring if you're of the opinion they like to push propofol themselves? Would you walk out of the room in that situation, yes or no?
I would not leave the room.
What else do we learn from Dr. White? Well, he came in here. He came in here and talked about scenarios he created, or a Dr. Ornelas created, rather. On direct examination by Mr. Flanagan, it appeared Dr. White was an expert in this field, that he knew pharmacokinetics, and that he was prepared to opine based on these charts and graphs and simulations. Dr. White testified specifically to the defense exhibit, and under questioning by Mr. Flanagan noted the scenario that we have up here, does it reconcile with the urine evidence? Yes. And you remember Dr. White testified repeatedly. His main concern were these urine results. He wanted to get to the bottom of these urine results. On cross-examination, he's asked, I know you indicated Dr. Ornelas is the one who created this, but were you providing her data, information, upon which she would base the simulation? I did not provide her really any guidance whatsoever. She was watching the proceedings on television. That is the science, alleged science, that you're being given by the defense in this case. Junk science.
Mr. Walker, do let us know for purposes of the luncheon recess when it's convenient.
If about 10 more minutes, then I'll be...
I have a feeling we should take the break. Will it be 10?
I think so, Your Honor.
What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Would you like a break, or do you want to go to 10? You sure? You know, I was raised on this issue of always questioning authority, so. You all right?
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Cross-examination on this issue. Dr. White, in the article upon which you based your testimony, as far as the 0.3% published in 1988, the author there was Simons. Correct. And you felt that was the most accurate accounting of unchanged propofol in the urine? Actually, I didn't make that determination. Dr. Ornelas is the one who did the pharmacokinetic modeling. She is the one with expertise, not me. Did you read this article, Dr. White? I did look over the article. I didn't really analyze it. I looked at the article. I didn't read it in detail. No. How many hours did you put into collaboration with Dr. Ornelas prior to your testifying so you were competently informed as to the data and the literature that you were relying upon? I had a conversation with her. She came over to the house I was staying at, the Flanagan's house, and presented. Mr. Flanagan's house? Yes. His response further on in the transcript, page 9451 and 9452. But again, as I testified, I'm not the expert in the pharmacokinetic modeling.